Let's be honest. Have you ever stopped to think about why you were born? Not the romantic version, not the story your parents tell you, but the brutal truth. You did not choose this life. You were thrown into it, tiny, screaming, defenseless, and utterly powerless. Yet almost instinctively, society expects you to repeat this very cycle. They tell you, have children, it will give your life meaning. But what if that is the cruelest lie ever sold to humanity? Arthur Schopenhauer, one of the darkest and most honest philosophers to ever exist, confronted this reality without flinching. He said life is suffering. Every pleasure is fleeting, every joy temporary, and every moment of happiness is merely a pause between pains. The moment we are born, the suffering begins, and it only grows as time moves forward. So why, in the face of this obvious misery, would anyone willingly bring another human being into the world? The answer is terrifyingly simple. The blind, unstoppable force Schopenhauer called the will. The will is not rational. It does not ask for consent. It does not care if you are prepared, if you are ready, or if the world is better than the one you were dragged into. It is a force that drives life to perpetuate itself instinctively, endlessly. People believe they are acting out of love when they decide to have children, but in reality, they are slaves to this ancient, unconscious compulsion. It is a force older than morality, older than empathy, older than reason. And its favorite trick is convincing us that creating life is noble, heroic, even sacred. Yet the reality of parenthood is nothing like the stories we are fed. It is exhaustion, anxiety, and sacrifice wrapped in an illusion of joy. Every child is born into the same relentless cycle of suffering that you yourself endured. The sleepless nights, the constant worry, the crushing responsibilities, all of it is inevitable. And the most horrifying part? You cannot stop the will. Your child will grow, suffer, and eventually, unless they too resist the compulsion, bring another into this endless chain. One life of suffering becomes two. Two become four. And so it goes, multiplying endlessly, each generation trapped in the same merciless game. Schopenhauer dared to name it. Reproduction is not noble. It is the ultimate act of selfishness disguised as love. We think we are giving life, but in truth, we are forcing suffering. Every child is a witness to the universe's cruelty, and every parent becomes a participant in perpetuating it. So before you fall for the lie society tells you, before you dream of lullabies and family photos, remember this. You didn't choose to exist, and neither did anyone else. To bring another into this world is to gamble with a soul, to sentence someone to pain they never asked for. The question you must ask yourself is simple. Are you brave enough to see the truth? Are you strong enough to resist the will? Or will you, like almost everyone else, surrender and continue the cycle? The moment you realize this, the world shifts. The illusion of parenthood cracks, and for the first time, you understand the radical freedom in saying no. But that understanding, that realization, is just the beginning. Most people believe they are choosing to have children. They imagine it's a conscious decision, an act of love, a path to fulfillment. But the truth is far more insidious. You are not fully in control. Something deep within, what Schopenhauer called the will, manipulates your desires, disguising instinct as choice. It whispers that children will bring purpose, that they will complete you, that your life will suddenly matter. And so, you obey, thinking it is love, thinking it is freedom. But in reality, the will cares nothing for fulfillment, nothing for happiness. Its only concern is that life perpetuates itself, and in doing so, that suffering continues, quietly, invisibly, and relentlessly. Every parent believes they are acting out of care, out of selflessness. But the will doesn't ask for permission. It hides behind ideals, tricks us into thinking we are noble. It whispers, "You will be fulfilled. You will experience love like never before. You will create a legacy." And we obey, blind and desperate, because society reinforces the illusion. We call it love. We call it responsibility. We call it destiny. But it is manipulation. The will thrives on our ignorance, and parenthood is its favorite trap. And the consequences are immediate. Sleepless nights that bleed into months, years of responsibility that slowly erode freedom, ambitions sacrificed on the altar of expectation. Every choice becomes secondary to the child, every dream delayed or abandoned. The freedom you once had? Gone. The person you thought you were. Subsumed by the will's demand to perpetuate itself. And the cruelest irony, most parents never even see the trap they are in. They believe they are giving life, but in reality, they are surrendering to a force they do not understand. A force that never stops, never rests, and never questions its own cruelty. Schopenhauer called this the fundamental lie of existence. Life itself is suffering, and by obeying the will, by reproducing, you are not only condemning yourself to struggle, you are condemning someone else. The child you bring into the world inherits every burden you try to shield them from, multiplied by the relentless machinery of life itself. You believe you're giving a gift, but it is a cage built from hope, expectation, and the illusion of meaning. The will does not care if you understand. It only cares that you obey, and herein lies the trap. Even if you see the suffering, even if you understand the cost, the pressure to conform is crushing. Everyone else seems to obey. Your friends, your family, your culture, they all play the game. To resist is to defy the invisible law, to stand alone against a force older than you can imagine. And yet, this is the path to clarity. To recognize the will is to recognize the illusion. To see the trap is to glimpse freedom. So, ask yourself, are you going to be another pawn in this invisible game? Or are you going to resist? Most people never even notice the string pulling them. Most people never even ask the questions that will set them free. But you've already started to ask. And that is dangerous, because once you see the will for what it is, you can never unsee it. The question is simple, but terrifying. Will you obey, or will you break the cycle? Think about that. Society tells us having children is noble. They call it love, responsibility, legacy. We are bombarded with images of smiling families, tiny hands, and laughter echoing through perfect homes. From the moment we are old enough to understand, we are taught that parenthood is the ultimate purpose, the proof that a life was meaningful. But this is one of the greatest illusions we will ever be sold. Schopenhauer would call it the theater of false meaning. Life is not a storybook, and children are not trophies of virtue. Most people chase parenthood thinking it will make their existence significant, that it will validate their suffering, that it will create a mark on the world. And yet, in reality, it only perpetuates the same cycle of struggle we inherited. Every expectation, every hope, every societal pressure is a thread in the invisible web designed to keep the will unchallenged. We tell ourselves that bringing life into the world is an act of heroism, but it is really obedience to an instinct older than conscience. Think about it. Millions of parents dedicate decades to raising children, sacrificing freedom, ambitions, and even their own happiness. And for what? To create someone who, sooner or later, must face the same suffering, the same unrelenting pressures, the same cycle of life that they were warned about only too late. Legacy, purpose, meaning, all illusions, carefully constructed to hide the uncomfortable truth. Life does not care about your fulfillment. Life only continues, and in doing so, drags new souls along its relentless current. And here is the cruelest irony. Most people never even notice. They're too busy trying to be good parents, too distracted by fleeting joys and temporary love to question why they do it at all. Schopenhauer would say that true insight comes not from following the crowd, but from observing it, from stepping back and recognizing the mechanisms behind our desires. Most never step back. Most never see. Most obey. But if you are here, watching this, thinking about these truths, you're already questioning. You're already seeing the illusion for what it is. And that means you are capable of thinking differently, of choosing differently, of resisting the cycle that traps almost everyone else. That awareness is powerful and dangerous. It separates those who live blindly from those who see clearly. If this perspective shakes you, if it makes you question everything you thought was sacred, then there is more waiting for you. Because understanding the truth about life, suffering, and the illusions we chase is not something you finish in a single video. To keep questioning, to keep challenging, and to never settle for the easy lies. Subscribe and join the conversation. Let's see how far the truth can take us. Most people believe having children is the ultimate act of selflessness. They imagine themselves sacrificing for someone else, giving life out of love, building a legacy that transcends death. But Schopenhauer sees the truth behind this noble mask. What we call love, what we call selflessness, is often the purest form of vanity. We do not bring children into the world to serve them. We bring them in to serve ourselves. Think about it. How many parents fantasize about their children accomplishing what they could not? How many hope their offspring will live a life they could not, fulfill dreams they never reached, or reflect back an idealized version of themselves? This is not sacrifice. This is ego. This is the will at its most cunning, hiding selfishness behind virtue, convincing us we are doing good while feeding our own desire to feel important, immortal, and meaningful. Even the language we use reveals the truth. Parents speak of giving life as though it were a gift, a benevolent act. But life, in Schopenhauer's eyes, is suffering. Every child born inherits pain, struggle, and disappointment, and the parent believes they have done something noble. The will does not care about ethics, morality, or gratitude. It only ensures that life continues, that suffering continues, that humanity repeats the same mistakes endlessly. And so, we live in a world of illusions. We think of children as blessings, proof of love, carriers of our legacy. In reality, they are mirrors reflecting our deepest desires, our need for validation, our longing to leave a mark on a world we barely understand. Parenthood is not a selfless act. It is the will dressed as virtue, manipulating our emotions and feeding the ego that fears death, meaninglessness, and obscurity. Schopenhauer's warning is clear. Almost all acts of so-called selflessness are rooted in self-interest, and having children, more than almost anything else, exposes this uncomfortable truth. We are not heroic. We are not purely loving. We are slaves to the will, compelled to perpetuate life while disguising our obedience as morality. To see this is unsettling. To admit it is even harder. But for those who dare to look, who dare to confront the hidden motives behind their most sacred actions, there is clarity, there is understanding, and perhaps in understanding there is freedom. The real question is not whether having children is selfless or selfish. The question is whether you are willing to see the truth about the forces guiding your decisions before you let them decide for you. All throughout history, humans have been taught that having children is the ultimate proof of love, purpose, and meaning. Society glorifies it. Families, media, culture. They all reinforce the idea that your life is incomplete without offspring. But Schopenhauer forces us to see the truth. Life itself is suffering, and to bring another into this cycle is to multiply suffering, not joy. The choice to reproduce is not sacred. It is the ultimate submission to the forces that do not care about you, your dreams, or your happiness. The radical idea, the terrifying clarity, is that true freedom lies in refusal. To consciously step back, to resist the instinct, to say no to what almost everyone else blindly accepts. This is not cowardice. It is insight. It is courage. Those who refuse to have children are the ones who understand the mechanics of suffering, the patterns of life, the invisible chains that bind almost everyone else. They are the ones who reclaim their time, their energy, their identity. They are the rare few who can choose a life that is theirs alone. And yet, this freedom comes with its own weight. To resist the expectations of family, friends, and society is to stand alone. To face whispers, judgment, and questions without easy answers. It is to confront mortality and meaninglessness on your own terms, without the illusion of legacy to soften the blow. Most will never have this courage. Most will never even see the choice before them. But those who do see it, they glimpse what it means to truly own their existence. Think about it. Every moment you spend chained to obligations you didn't choose. Every dream delayed or abandoned. Every ounce of energy poured into the will instead of yourself. All of it is optional. The decision to obey is not inevitable. The decision to suffer is not predetermined. And the realization that you can break the cycle, that you can refuse to propagate the chain of pain, is one of the most liberating insights a human being can experience. Schopenhauer dared to say what almost no one else would. The most selfless act may be the one you never perform. To spare another from suffering, to step outside the machinery of the will, to see the illusion for what it is and walk away. This is courage disguised as wisdom. And in that act of refusal, in that radical embrace of clarity, there is freedom, there is peace, there is the possibility of a life truly your own.